Genso Kisa Enchante. What's good, everybody? MidMorningSol back at it again with another somewhat part to the Cafe Enchante playlist. I thought I was gonna say playthrough, huh? But no, the playthrough is said and done. I finished it last week, 100% it. So I figured, like Pio Fiore, this is the review. Spoiler free, if anything. Yes, I have completed Cafe Enchante not too long ago, and it was quite the experience. So in this review, I'm gonna bring up some parallels because they were pretty much released, or at least localized, around the same time, like within a month of each other, probably less than, I think, but I don't remember. But yeah, Aksys was knocking them out the park. They got 3 titles coming from the end of this year to early next year, so they're keeping it going, and they're finding out that this is a market that should be tapped into if you want to make money, right? So folks, Cafe Enchante, Genso Kisa Enchante. Y'all like what I did in the beginning? So folks, let's break it down, right? You are playing as, by default name, Kotone Awaki, who is a recent high school grad who was working this dead-end, deadbeat job. She finds out her grandfather, who was the first owner of Cafe Enchante, has passed on, and she has the option to inherit and start or continue on running the cafe in her own little way. You are, looking from the outside looking in, it sounds like, one of your basic foo-la-la, bubbly, cute prefaces toward Otome, right? But as Kotone walks up on the cafe property, and she gets the key from her grandfather's letter and opens it, she finds that, okay, beyond the typical cafe, there's this interesting door that she runs up on, right? So the door has a plate that says closed. Curiosity gets the better of her, and she flips it to open. Whoosh! Out pops poster boy, Mr. Meteor Rex, in which he is dubbed the Cheating Demon King or something like that. Yeah, I don't remember the damn. I don't remember their descriptors, but I'll try to do it as best I can. Don't slay the messenger for messing up the message. But yeah. So he embraces her in his arms, and okay, out pops the other 3 otherworldly gents, the otherworldly LIs. And you're greeted to an Otome loving fallen angel, chivalrous headless knight, and a flame-wielding demon beast who's like Cinderella as hell. Yep, there are your 4 outworldly gents. Pretty cool stuff, right? So in the midst of learning about these 4, you run into one more gent. He is the mature agent, the mature government agent or whatever. And there you go, boom, title drop, and you get to go through the title picture one more time with the theme music. Loved it because I got copyright claim to hell and back, so we're not going to talk about that. But from then on forth, you move on into the story, right? So Kotone, she's, I find to be like the typical cookie cutter Otome protag. Putting her next to Lily. Both can cook. Both are like kind of dumbstruck when it comes to men. Both are relatively young. Given the time period, this Cafe Enchante, of course, is modern time versus Pio Fiore, which was in the 1920s. You know, still have that same aloof attitude and demure, reserved. Like I said before, y'all, Kotone Owaki, I don't know. I thought she was in her 20s, but some folks are saying she's 19. I'm not sure like what her age is, but whatever. She's, you know, not fresh out of high school, but out of high school, been working for a while. She's pretty much, you just got out of high school age and you're wondering what you're doing with your life. Kotone, you know, she just runs a cafe, and she was really close with her grandfather. That's why the grandfather, instead of giving the key to her parents, Kotone's parents, he gives the key to Kotone, and he writes her a heartfelt letter before his passing. And you know, not many can resonate with Kotone because that's a rare occurrence of you inheriting something at quite a young age. She has everything set up to which she doesn't have to worry about living or a job. Sort of, kind of. And we'll just leave it at that. But her grandfather basically left her with a very nice inheritance. And like I said, that said inheritance is tied to the gate, which leads to her meeting the four out of 5 love interests. So Kotone, she, you know, I like her look. She only has 2 freaking outfits though, which pales in comparison to Lily. Lily set the bar so high. Y'all know, when I speak Lily, I mean Liliana Ardornado, Pio Fiore's protag, or heroine, however you want to refer to her. But Lily had change after change after change of clothes. When Kotone suffers from the same thing a lot of the protags suffer from, in terms of you only have what, like 2 change of clothes. So you know. And then also it's like, yeah, she got some. She was given a very, very lucrative inheritance that majority of us wouldn't really look up on. Like, probably very few could relate to that. So it's like Kotone is unique in that sense, because I'm pretty sure not that many Otome protags are kind of well set off like that in the beginning of the story. Then again, I haven't played that many Otome games, so. And but I do resonate with her because, like I said before, the reason for her wanting to, you know, take over this, or pull over the reins, rather, from her grandfather, is because, like, she's been working a pretty crap job. That I can relate to. And it's like, she's at this crossroads, in which she doesn't know where she wants to go. Does she just keep working that 9 to 9? Let's be real. She ain't getting out on no normal hours. Like, if she want to stay in that miserable 9 to 9, or does she want to, you know, take a chance, take a gamble, and just go with what her grandfather gives her? So we go through that, right? And you know, we just play out the story as is. So one thing is different from Pio Fiore with this game is that the main chapter or the common route is so long. It is very long. Everybody basically gets their own intro, and then from there you can go into the routes. So I don't know if I'm a fan of that because, like I said, I played Pio Fiore first. I did like Pio Fiore. It was two like common route chapters, and then you just jump right on into it. I'm here for that. But this one, it's, oh gosh, it's like 8 chapters, 8 main chapters, and then you can branch into it. So this is a bit longer in terms of prefacing and backstory before you get into the actual LI route. So yeah, it's one of my main critiques. Not a fan of that. I know some people that didn't mind it. Hey, that's good for you if you didn't mind it. But yeah, it was kind of like dragging on. And definitely when it came to the alternate choices, y'all, it felt painstakingly, excruciatingly long. Like I almost rolled my eyes. I didn't want to do this, right? So not the end of the world, but not something I would be a fan of. And yeah, it's just, I hope the other 3 aren't like that are coming later on, because I don't mind backstory. It's just that, I mean, I think Pio Fiore had the better balance of finding out your love interest's backstory when you know, are visiting their chapter, or excuse me, their route. Now you find out about everybody, and then, you know, from there. In terms of, you know, being able to select, like, you know what intentionally route you want to go to, that's far more easier in Cafe Enchante versus Pio Fiore. In Pio Fiore, they don't give you blatantly outright choices as to who you want to pursue, but Cafe Enchante, they do that. So I can appreciate that. It's not like second guessing and like, oh, your actions attract this guy versus that guy. It's like, no, you want to go see this guy, what this guy's up to. You want to know what this guy's doing. You want to hang out with this guy. And that's one I'll take over for for Cafe Enchante. Let's talk about the art style, right? The art style, pretty much similar to Pio Fiore in terms of character, look, you know, aesthetic, art type. To me, it looks the same. I really wouldn't know, like, it looks like a typical shoujo type art. So, I mean, it's that, I get that. But when we're talking about the backgrounds again, this is more of what I would deem to be the term isekai, where you're being whisked away to a fanatical world. That's what it feels like, fantasy. It definitely nails that aesthetic down with the locations that you go to in the story. For some, they do reuse. I mean, it's typical because you're visiting the same spots. Excuse me. You're visiting the same spots, right? But, I mean, like, in real location in the story, you're going to see, like, you know, it feels like what would be authentic Japanese suburbs, because the location of Cafe Enchante is like in the outskirts of, I don't know if it was Tokyo or just unnamed Japanese city, you know, but I really did appreciate it. It looked like, you know, a realistic location. If I did not know A from B in Japan, I could definitely see this as being viable. They don't base this off of a actual Japanese city, so, you know, it's up for their interpretation. So who am I to say, oh, that doesn't look authentic? I don't know. It is what it is. Like I said, you do visit other places because you're dealing with 4 outwardly love interests. So, you know, the backgrounds, I feel as though they did put a lot of effort into them in terms of, you know, detail and making you believe, well, this place feels real. You know, it's like, even though we know it's fiction, it feels like something you could see in a movie, or you know, if you're going into like one of those VR video games, I guess you could see yourself being in this sort of environment. So very nice. I mean, because we're dealing with like outright fantasy, you know, I don't have that same like wow reaction, because like it's touted on realism for majority of the time, but then when you're going to these other locations, it's you know, I know it's fake, but like Pio Fiore, the thing I was so wowed about is because yes, this doesn't capture Italy in a sense. It's got the spirit of Italy for sure down pat, like, you know this. And with Cafe Enchante's, when you're in, you know, fictional space Japan, I can believe that. I can believe that, even though like as a tourist you would probably go to like the cities for the most part. I don't think you would go to the countryside, but still it's believable to me. So I don't know, I like the background art. I guess because Pio Fiore came first, hit me first, it doesn't have that same like wow impact factor as Pio Fiore first did. So the music in this game, of course, you know, there's a score for every mood. You know, if it's, you know, a comical moment, or, you know, it's a heartfelt moment, confession of love, whatever the case may be, there's a piece of music for it, right? The thing about this is that I don't really get like a leitmotif versus Pio Fiore. Pio Fiore being set in Italian, or excuse me, it's set in Italy. It has a heavily Italian influence in its music, right? But Cafe Enchante, I guess it has like you know, a typical cafe type of soundtrack that's like got like this bossa nova jazz sort of deal with some of the tracks, because a lot of them do have heavy piano. I mean, I can't really talk about the music. I'm not really well versed to talk about music, but the one track that I did like from Cafe Enchante, I guess that stood out to me, it's the one that when something heroic is gonna happen, we'll keep it like that, something heroic's happening, something that turns turns the tide in your favor. That sort of deal. That's what it's called. And I may just, put a description of what the title of the piece of music is. But I really do like that one because it really does, feel like, oh yeah, shit's happening. It's getting good, y'all. But yeah, for the most part, the music is decent. Of course, when you play the game in its entirety, it starts to be repetitive. And the thing with visual novels is they don't really have an expanded soundtrack like you would think, for you to not get tired of hearing the same handful of songs over and over. But the song that I like in particular, it doesn't really play all that often, so that's why I like it so much, I guess. But yeah, it's got a chill. The soundtrack, for the most part, has a nice chill sort of vibe, in which you really just want to have a cup of coffee over and just reflect on all the things that are going on in your day-to-day life. So I appreciate the tunes, for the most part, sounding like that. Okay, the faux pas. The faux pas. Y'all, there were so many typos, and some of the spacing was weird. A lot of line breaks where they didn't need to be, and you would think what the heck is going on. There were some instances with a character where the pronoun was switched around, so it's was I wrong all this time or no? But yeah, I found that to be a little annoying, but still didn't deter me from reading, finishing, the entire game. So just as a forewarning, if they decide to release a patch, cool. But if not, yeah, just take it as is, I suppose. Length of the game, right? Okay, so I 100% completed this. If I haven't mentioned it in the title and in the description and in the playlist title, all that crap, right? But yeah, I 100% completed this. So last I looked at my Switch, I took 105 hours. Yeah. And I would say that I would take away some probably a couple hours, because there were times where I fell asleep and woke back up right afterwards, and just silly shit like that, y'all. I meant to get up, or I had to do something, so I had to turn off the game. Well, not turn off the game. I turned off recording, but I didn't turn off the game. So there's stuff like that's happened. So I would say that yes, this is a long. If you want to 100% complete it, this is a long VN, along with Pio Fiore. I think Pio Fiore is a bit longer though, but this is just as long. A little bit on the shorter side, but if you're just wanting to get a particular ending and you don't care about the other one, maybe 45 hours it should take you. And then of course, if you're not playing in front of everyone on the YouTubes, yeah, I'd say 100% complete, around 50 hours. We'll call it any percent, like the speedrunners do. Any percent, shave 10 hours, 40 hours. I ended up not using a lot of save states, or saving, quick save, quick load. Yeah, there was like some times where I did, because like there were like multiple answers, but choices, they were spread out a bit more. I would say it's the same though. I'm thinking like it was the same, but they were spread out a bit more versus Pio Fiore. Pio Fiore had some choices crammed up, like sometimes back to back to back. But it's not as bad as like say Pio Fiore.
Can you read? Wrap it up.
Okay, folks, so let's wrap this all up. Cafe Enchante, does it pale in comparison to, let's say, a fully mature rated visual novel? Depends on what you prefer. There are instances of themes that might be triggering. I won't say what, but excuse me. I won't say what, but there might be some things that could be triggering, and if you want to steer clear, then I would say just let me know in the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to explain to you. But these triggers, I felt as though they just came out of left field sometimes. I'm like, oh, what? Is this really happening? What? And there were times where it made me wonder, like, could this been an M-rated visual novel? That's how crazy some stuff gets. So the way that they handled it, though, it surprised me. I want to say that with something like this, I actually do like the kind of element of surprise in which you wouldn't think they were going this direction, but they do. And it's like, what? This is not what I was expecting, But in all actuality, yeah, they went that way, and it was like, how do I even continue on? But yeah, I managed. Yeah, some of the events may be triggering, I will say. So, like I said, take care. If you want to know, I will be more than happy to explain it in the comment section. But yeah, we're not going to spoil in the video for sake of my title being spoiler free. Would I recommend this game? Yes, of course. It's actually the plot is very, very interesting. However, I feel as though, for it to be marketed as an Otome game, it needs a little bit more work. And for those of you that have played, you'll know what I'm talking about. But the story itself, if it were just a regular story, like a regular whatever VN, oh man, yeah, the story is out the park, whatever, awesome. But because it's marketed as an Otome, it's like, for something that's supposed to be in this genre, it sure gives the essence of an Otome as an afterthought, and we'll leave it like that. That's how I feel, y'all. It wasn't as pronounced in Pio Fiore, but it was like an afterthought, and I'm like, you know, some of the endings come off awkward because of that, and it's like, you know. But man, is the plot interesting. The plot is so intent. We'll put it like that. The plot is so intent that it's not really a factor. So I would recommend this to guys if you're curious about the story. Defo, rent, a buy if you can get it on sale. As I'm recording this, y'all, there's the Golden Week sale going on at Aksys, so hit them up. Also, see if your local retailer will price match it. Whatever the case may be, defo, rent for sure, buy if it's on sale. I enjoyed it. I don't remember if I gave like any sort of ranking, but I don't know, I might come up with a ranking system later. But Cafe Enchante, y'all, it's defo not which, you know, what all seems in this game for what you see up front. I will tell you that. And I love the guessing game I was put on, because I didn't know if I was gonna get a good ending or a bad ending. And I love the fact that I was like, oh, how's this gonna work? How's this going? Yeah, you're gonna be guessing. You will not know clear cut if you have the good ending or bad ending with the playthrough of this game. So yeah, y'all, that's pretty much it. Now I got to edit and make myself somewhat coherent. But I want to thank you all for tuning in with your girl on this ranking, or excuse me, this spoiler-free review. The ranking, I done spoiled it already. The ranking will come shortly after. Don't know if it's going to be tonight or next week. Give me time, because that, if you want something more chaotic, more high energy, I defo do a tier list, tier ranking for the LIs. This one's gonna be extra hard because I love them all in their own unique way, and some extras. You get what I mean? So yeah, y'all, thank you again for tuning in with your girl. We'll see you in the next video. If you like this sort of content, please subscribe. I do full game playthroughs, basically covering Nintendo, visual novels, whatever else catches my eye. I do giveaways. I'm trying to get another giveaway to go up very soon, but just thinking about the details. Also doing a little side investing, so if you're interested, I could do like a periodic video update on that. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Y'all know my philosophy on this YouTube shit. View what you wanna, do what you wanna, and I'll see you lovely lads and lassies in the next episode. So until then, my friends, take care, take it easy, and